Hi, and welcome to Female Entrepreneurs Magazine, your go-to platform for ambitious women who are ready to take the business world by storm. I'm your host, Angel France, and each week we'll dive into the latest strategies, stories, and success secrets from the most inspiring female entrepreneurs around the world. Welcome to the Real Female Entrepreneurs. Get ready to meet the unstoppable founder of Crippled Beagle Publishing. And on top of just one, how about she also owns Story Mountain Media? After one life-changing moment, I cannot wait to hear what that was, it sparked her first book. And our next guest, you're going to love her. She turned passion into purpose and built not one, but two powerhouse businesses, like I just said. Now, she's on a mission to help authors and entrepreneurs turn their businesses into legacies. Whether you're halfway through a manuscript, oh my word, and pulling out your hair, I've done that before, or just dreaming big, she's got you. She is your go-to guide for turning words into impact. Help me welcome the wildly witty and wonderfully wise Jody Dyer. Welcome.
Thank you. I love being called wild and witty. I might have to borrow that.
You can. It's here for you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have to hear the story of what sparked that first book, and then we just need to find out some other things. I think we have like a long-standing writer in our midst. So tell me the
Yes.
story if you don't mind.
Well, I've been writing since before I could actually put pen to paper. And I asked my grandmother to ghostwrite a love note to my preschool classmate, David, and I asked him to marry me. And I said, I need a sweetheart, even though I'm only 4 years old. Everybody needs a sweetheart, and one day we can get married and be nice to Bill. I saw you be mean to him yesterday. That was it. She wrote it verbatim, and I still have that in its crayon. So I guess she was trying to look like me anyway. So that was my first taste of ghostwriting, even though I was the client. Now I do ghostwriting. But the life-changing experience happened when I had my first son, Houston, who's now 23, and then tried to get pregnant for 6 years and had no luck. And if anybody's been through that, it is gut-wrenching and heartbreaking. Yes, it's very relatable, but also often a very private pain because people get tired of hearing about it. And, there's private stuff. So when I finally figured out that infertility treatments weren't the right course of action because of my particular biology and that kind of thing, and also, honestly, finances, we started the domestic infant adoption process. And that took another 2 years. So after 8 years of infertility treatments and then the arduous adoption process, we finally welcomed our second child, Scotty. And during all that time, every book, because I'm a word nerd, right? I've always written, I've always been a reader. I always like to research everything I'm trying to do and learn as much about it as possible, like nerd out, I guess you could say. And as I tried to nerd out about infertility treatments and then adoption, all the books that I could find were written by industry professionals and not necessarily mothers or mothers who were unsuccessful so far. So basically what I wrote was the book that I had needed at the time. I felt compelled to help women who'd been in my shoes, and I published that book, The Eye of Adoption, in 2013 when Scotty was actually 3 years old. Yeah.
I would have loved to have had that book. Trust me.
I made it super relatable. It's very honest and humble and wide open. And we have an open adoption with Scotty's birth family. And so that's kind of a source of intrigue for a lot of people in my world. And so I was like, I'll just write it all down because I'm tired of giving these one-off press conferences at the grocery store. And also it's a tribute to his birth parents and to our social worker and everybody who really contributed to the successful building of our family and a very healing and close relationship that we have with the birth family.
Okay, I am in awe of both the whole mechanism of everything.
Here's that book.
So the eye of adoption. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And in the back, I actually interview Carrie, Scotty's birth mother, which was pretty bold. But my writing style is direct and humorous. You could call me a humorist essayist, actually, if I were to choose a genre. And so, what as the waiting, a hopeful adoptive mother who'd already been through 6 years of heartbreaking infertility and exhausted everything, including myself, my husband, and our bank accounts. I was like, what do people really want to know? They want to know what the birth family's thinking and what they're going through. And adoptive mothers really do care about the birth family. And so I interviewed her and put it verbatim in the book. Like she was a full participant, and it was a wonderful experience for us. And we did it for Scotty too. So it's done really well. And then what happened was I figured out, gosh, traditional publishing's impossible if you're not already famous. Mm-hmm. And it takes a lot of effort and time and expense and connection. And my goal was to help people. I didn't really need a traditional publisher to do that. I just needed the book to be out there. And so I researched ways. I was teaching school at the time, actually researched how to get my book into the marketplace and learned how to do that. Fast forward a few years, and I'm back in a corporate job, and then thank goodness lose that corporate job. And all my friends, and I'd written 2 more books by then. Then my friends said, you should just write for a living. I was like, what does that mean? Anybody need a paragraph? How about a whole page? It's like, what do I write for a living? Because I thought journalism, nobody paid me to write these books. I just did it. And so I just started telling people, hey, I'm writing now for a living. Would you like a sentence or perhaps a paragraph or more? And and people would say, yeah, you used to teach school. Can you tutor my son? Sure. Because I love essays. Absolutely. And then I wrote revenge Facebook posts, ghostwriting. I wrote MLS real estate descriptions. I ghost wrote a full magazine for a swanky real estate firm in Florida. Just you name it. I just said yes to every project, and then started getting book opportunities to help people with their books. And then people were like, I don't know how to publish. And I thought, oh, well, I do. So then I created the publishing imprint, Crippled Beagle Publishing, to help my clients. So basically, I just solved my problem, then I started solving other people's problems.
Wait, I want to know how the name Crippled Beagle Publishing came up. That has to be a unique story again.
Yeah. So I grew up in a holler in East Tennessee, Holler. And we had lots and lots of beagles, but my favorite was Belle, and she had backward knees, and she always looked like a puppy because she was a miniature beagle and also the runt. And then her little legs would kind of wiggle back and forth together. She was just really funny and sweet, and she would hang out with me. I'm an only child, and I would read my Sweet Valley High books to her. I don't know if anybody hearing this or reading this knows that series. It was just, a teeny bopper series of books, right? And I would read those to her, and we would hang out in the barn, and I would crack walnuts, and she would eat them. And that was my only child life, which explains why I spent a lot of time reading and writing. And so my parents actually named our farm Crippled Beagle Farm because at the time we had 2 beagles who were crippled. One got in a tangle with a car. He was okay, but yeah. And then Belle. And so I just kind of named it in honor of her and my history, my family, where I come from, and also the people. I've probably published close to 200 books, but worked on close to 400 projects with different authors, and almost all of them are first-time authors. And so in a way, when it comes to the industry, they are definitely handicapped, and they come to me with imposter syndrome, a great idea, no clue what to do with it, or a rough manuscript, no idea how to fix it. And so we learn together, and I'm a teacher, and so we don't have to be perfect to be awesome and have great stories. And so it just kind of all works together and fits under that umbrella of Crippled Beagle Publishing. Plus, people love dogs. Beagles are sweet.
They are. And I love your accessory. You have a red pen ready to start writing.
Yes, that's my main editor pen. Usually when I'm about to edit, I put my hair in a high ponytail and put my Dollar Tree readers on, get this red pen out, and I get kind of mean, but then I'm nice because I help. I'm mean to the paper, but nice to the person.
I get it. So you said you were a teacher and then you went corporate,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
All right. And then the transition, it's because you lost the corporate job. So
yes, thank goodness. I didn't hit my sales goals.
You were a salesperson?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, we all are if we're entrepreneurs, but I was working for a bank. It's a really funny story. And didn't hit my sales goals a couple quarters in a row, and that seems to matter in banking. And I was like, well, I wasn't having fun. It wasn't creative. I didn't want to talk about checking accounts. That's not my thing. I was a real square peg, round hole. And I was determined, though, to take care of my family. Mm-hmm. My children were young at the time and in school, and, everything's expensive. And so I was doing what I thought I should do. And then I remember praying over and over, God, I hate this job. Like literally, God, comma, I hate this job. Make it obvious. Get me out of here, please. Well, he did. He had me fired because I'm stubborn. And like a lot of mothers and working mothers, we're like, we have to do what we have to do. Our children come first. There's this whole thing about housing and food. And so he knew, I think, that I would not leave unless I was forced out. So he just, forced me out.
So let's go into balance.
Yeah, I didn't do anything unethical. I just didn't hit my sales goals. But it's funny, though, with my own work, I hit my sales goals most of the time.
Because it's creative, it's fun. If they would have had you in the copy area of the bank and writing all their copy, you would have been in heaven.
Yes, that's right.
Mm-hmm. They just had you in the wrong position.
That's
it's their fault. They lost out.
Absolutely.
And aren't you glad?
Yes, sometimes the biggest flops are the worst moments. Even now as an entrepreneur, when I make a mistake or miss an opportunity, I stop and really examine what happened. And I've changed policies. I changed processes. I changed my mindset around whatever that was so that it not only never happens again, but also improves everything we do on my team and makes us more money. So I look at those big bloopers as gifts. They're not fun to go through, but like, when I look back, I'm 51 now. I think I was, like maybe 43, 44. And I thought, this is terrible. I just lost health insurance for a family of 4 and more than half our household income. And all my friends, especially the women, when I told them, I'm like, I just got fired. They go, oh, thank God. Good. You hated that job. Good. You should write for a living or teach again. And so now I do both, which is great.
So you teach and write. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, part of what I do is teach. I have online courses. I teach in the non-credit, the fun department at the University of Tennessee. I teach different creative writing classes there. That's a blast. I do workshops and webinars. So I think when you create and have your own business, you can create around all your bloopers, all your blessings, all your skill sets. You can actually curate everything you've learned and create something totally unique that helps people. And that's what I try to do.
I like it. Instead of failing, I love bloopers. I love that.
Yeah. And the thing is too, is I think it's great for women to be really open about when they mess up and not say, I don't blame my boss, even though, I really just didn't hit my sales goals 2 quarters in a row. And there was some test I was supposed to take and I was a day late. And then I think one of the tellers didn't keep her time cards and I didn't check them because I didn't want to. It was boring. So there you go. And but when you're open about your failures, your mistakes, your confusion, people can step in and help you.
Right. Yeah.
If you're so busy protecting your ego, you're just going to stay stuck.
Oh God, that is so true. What a great statement. All right, now let's go back to the family dynamics because
Okay.
your children are how many years apart?
They're 8 years apart.
8 years apart.
Yeah,
You've been in business for
since
what, 12?
2017. My first book I published in 2013. So I guess you could say I've been in the author business for 12 years because I've
Right.
published 4, 5, 6 books, I think, that are mine that I've written. But I started Crippled Beagle Publishing in 2017. And then 2023, fall of 2023, on a trail in the Great Smoky Mountains, I had this bright idea to start Story Mountain Media. That company caters to entrepreneurs strictly to help them write books to build their marketing platforms, launch their businesses, build their credibility, attract their clients. And that's been a blast. And I don't even have a website and I already have 17 projects. So here I am bloopering away.
So, I mean, that just proves that if you just get your name out there and you just talk to people randomly, things happen.
Just be open for
Mhm.
advice, open for opportunities.
Mhm.
You hear the phrase fail forward. I'm really good at that. I'm also really good at taking risks. And I have an abundance mindset that I have cultivated over time. I've had to ditch a lot of middle class limiting beliefs over the last couple of years, specifically to grow these two businesses. And if, and I'm a Christian, so I talk about that a lot, but God loves risk takers
Mhm.
because risk requires faith. And I'm like, here I go, gambling again. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm not going to fire me, at least.
Mhm.
So I don't know. So I started Story Mountain Media and realized that that would be a lot of fun and just a totally different target market.
Mhm.
And also maybe a business I can build up to sell.
Right.
Or maybe one child can, this is my dream. One child runs one business and one child runs the other. And every day they meet for lunch and every Saturday they play golf.
Oh, that is like such a sweet that is a sweet vision.
Wouldn't that be great? They do play golf. My older one, Houston, actually was home for spring break. He's still in college. And he checked his brother out of school without telling me so they could play golf. He's done that many times.
Well, you can come down to where we have 2 golf courses where I
Yeah,
live, so you're good.
they would love that.
They would be in heaven.
Yeah.
So how did you balance? Okay, you got kicked to the curb, all right? How how did you balance, raising both children? You had one that was a teenager and
Yeah.
one that was what, maybe
They were freshmen in first grade when I lost my job and said, "The heck with it, I'll just write paragraphs for a living."
and how
Yeah,
did you balance that? How did you balance going from that 9 to 5 to, "Okay, I'm gonna put him to bed and I'm still gonna go to work?"
yeah. Well, what I did, I flipped that because it was summer. Okay, so I got fired in May. Houston finished eighth grade and was headed into his freshman year. I said, "You all can stay up as late as you like because I'm an early bird." So if they stayed up till 1 or 2 shooting Nerf basketball or whatever, playing video games, they basically had a frat party every night. I could tell when I got up in the morning and saw the kitchen and living room. Then I could work till about noon and I get up at 5. So I could work 7 hours straight with no interruption because I let them stay up. So I got really strategic and just worked with what I had. A first grader who idolized his brother, a brother who was 15, 14, 15, and liked to stay up late and sleep all day. So you just kind of women, when you're raising children and running a business, they're like, you just have to adjust constantly and just get used to it. Like I thrive on routine, but that's a joke. Or there's no way. I mean, if you aim to have this strict routine that's ideal, you're just going to wear yourself out. I've learned that in the last year, especially. My husband's been battling cancer. And so every day is different sometimes. And so I'm just figure out what you can do, when you can do it, what really matters, what's really going to move your business and your forward and protect your family and your sanity. Just do what you can do.
Yeah.
And I think balance, it's more like look at it over a week. I remember a friend of mine, I said, gosh, Scotty, the only vegetable he eats is not even a vegetable. It's the green leaves on top of strawberries. And she goes,
Wait, you have the green leaves on the top.
I just wash them really well. And she said, look, if your child's had vegetables in the week, he's had vegetables. Quit looking at it like one meal at a time. And I thought, this is brilliant, because women are so hard on themselves and we can be hard on each other. And when she said that, she basically gave me permission to just let him eat the green leaves on the strawberries. It's going to be okay.
Hey, it's like lettuce. It's just smaller. It works.
It's green. It's not poisonous. And so, yeah, so you just have to adapt. I mean, constantly, and just be easy on yourself.
Just go with the flow and know that you're going to have to. So how is your husband doing right now?
He's doing a lot better. It's crazy, crazy, crazy what the working woman can endure, especially when she has no choice. So I started Story Mountain Media, thought of it in September 2023. He was diagnosed that Halloween and was actually terminally ill to begin with. And so it's been a wild year plus. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing, though, and I've thought about this, like reframe the situation, because it is heartbreaking. It is very expensive. It is incredibly time consuming. But it was a chance for us to be together a lot. And I thought, okay, we're going to be best buddies. We're going to be together a lot. And also, thank goodness I run my own business. While it has been incredibly difficult, because I've worked from the chemo lab, even from his ICU room, like surgeries, all of it, right? I can be everywhere he needs me to be. I don't have to ask my old boss at the bank, hey, I need off. I didn't have to take FMLA. I can still earn a living because I'm building out my team. It forced me to grow my team, which has been a great thing. It's a lot to do at once, but because I'm self-employed, I don't have to explain to anybody where I need to be in the moment. And I can be 100% present. Even if I'm stressed, I'm there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Thank God got you fired.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And you've been able to build a phenomenal business that supports you and your family.
Yes. And when you own a business, you can create money. When you work for someone, I remember one raise that I got was $300 for the whole year. And I asked my boss, can I have it in one lump sum? And he said, why? I said, so I can tell I got a raise. Like, I just go blow it somewhere and feel good for the day. He's like, ugh. But I mean, as an entrepreneur, you can create revenue streams and you can create wealth, or at least create time. I mean, there's so many ways you can create your life through entrepreneurism that you cannot do if you're in a 9-to-5 situation.
Yep. So what advice you've already given tons of tips. Oh my word. But what advice do you have for women that are trying to grow their business right now?
Well, I like to think about my mistakes. And one thing that I wish I'd done was hired help a lot sooner before I thought I could afford it. Mm-hmm. So even if that's a virtual assistant for a few hours a month, that was a game changer for me, because now every few months I'll do the love and loathe. I'll write down the things I hate doing, the things I love doing, and I will delegate as much of that as I can to different team members. So build your team. Don't bite off more than you can chew, but don't be afraid to take a big bite, because that is revenue producing. Mm-hmm. Another is, don't try to do too much at once, that's a mistake that I make because I probably have shiny object syndrome. And so
I do too.
yes, I mean, how many entrepreneurs do you meet who have multiple businesses?
We all do.
One's not
We
enough.
all do.
No, it's because once you get creative, you get more creative and you get more ideas and you want to jump on them because you're afraid they'll go away. So I have my main line of business for each company, and then I have like one thing I'm building out over time. But at first I was trying to do it all, and that was making me crazy. Ask for help. Definitely. If you have the budget or can find a way to create the money, an executive or a business coach is a great investment, especially if you're part of a mastermind. Yeah. And that has been incredibly helpful to me. I've been in one for close to 2 years. And that's taken me I've probably skipped 10 years of struggle. Just having those connections and those coaches.
It helps so much.
And also buy back your time and don't think of it as at work, at home. Think of it as what can I buy back for me? And, some of us enjoy folding clothes and cooking meals and some of us don't. Figure out what's draining your energy and your time. And don't apologize to anybody. And don't try to explain it to people who aren't going to get it. Just do it.
They're not going to get it.
They're not. No. You got to have you've got to find people who are entrepreneurs who can understand your decisions. It can be a really lonely place. And so finding other people who are in it in the same, it doesn't matter what industry they are. If they're entrepreneurs, they'll understand.
Right. So my thing, I always look at, if I give away someone cleaning my house, okay, what can I do during that time?
Yeah.
Instead of doing something that I know that I am just not going to be happy doing, because that's me. Yeah. I'm not happy doing it.
Right. And I think a lot of women, especially maybe here in the South, feel this obligation to check certain boxes. And there may be some culture shock. There may be some ripples when you do these things. But you have to think like a billionaire. And you can I've learned this from one of my coaches, billionaires do a lot of things that don't cost any money. They just have a different way of thinking. Mm-hmm. So it's okay to pay a housekeeper. It's okay to pay a meal service and use that time to rest. Rest or go for a walk or take a bubble bath or hang out with your children, your husband, a friend, whatever. It's okay. And so, I think a lot of times women feel like we have to justify any expense, like there has to be a return on investment. Sometimes that return is just energy, happiness, right?
And that's true. If somebody cleans my house, I can go out and I can go and exercise. Hello.
Yeah. And then you're going to be more productive at work because you're healthier. Your brain's functioning better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Can you share any future plans or goals that you have for your two businesses or even you?
Yeah. So one of my crazy stretch goals that I like to give people now to shock them is that I want to through hike the Appalachian Trail, meaning hike from Springer Mountain, Georgia, all the way to Mount Katahdin in Maine in one trip. Of course, there will be breaks, and I'll probably have a couple of knee surgeries somewhere along the trail. maybe a new hip.
Let's not speak that into existence. You're good.
That'd be that's a crazy stretch goal for me before I'm 60. I also would love to spend a month in another country. I don't mind working while I'm there. I just want to have that experience and maybe my sons come and visit part of the time, whenever. This will be when Scotty's in college. As far as my businesses go, I would love to build them both up so that they are well running machines that serve as many people as possible. Mm-hmm. With as little time commitment from me as possible.
Because your two sons are going to be running it. Your two sons are going to be running it.
Yeah, I'm sure they're super excited.
So excited.
Yeah. So, but I'd love to build those up because I really like mentoring young women And I have a lot on my team now, and they're all subcontractors. Like I love working with other entrepreneurs. I want them to have that energy and that attitude when they come to work with me. So we all collaborate. Nobody reports or clocks in with me. And that means a lot to me. That could change depending on the growth. But one of my friends is a teacher, and she says, "What are you going to do to retire? How are you going to retire?" I'm like, "I'm not. I'm going to build these businesses so that when I'm too old when I can't do this anymore or don't want to, I can have fulfillment by mentoring young people and giving them opportunities in my businesses." So I just look at them like big schools where people can make money, do creative work, and help people tell their stories.
Yep.
So it's like a cool retirement way of life for me would be to give to others, doing something I know how to do, but also provide them with incredible opportunities to create and share.
So I don't know about you, but I mean, somebody goes, well, what if somebody just wants to buy it for like whatever amount of money, obscene amount of money? What would you do? I said, reality is I'd probably create another business.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably would. I mean, I have all these different ideas. I use a co-working space. I have my office here. And I told one of my buddies, I said, what I'd really like to do is have a big building where I have different floors. And each floor is a different business that I own. And I just go check on everybody like all day, every day. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And help them, like really help them and be a service-oriented leader who inspires and innovates and creates more businesses.
And I'd want a penthouse condo up at the top floor.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's a great idea. With a pretty view.
Yeah. Gorgeous view overlooking whatever you want.
I may, one day I may sell them. I don't know. It just depends on, I've got like 3 different ways things can go. They can go with me. They can just go. I could sell them. I probably wouldn't sell Crippled Beagle Publishing, but Story Mountain Media, that's definitely one I can build to scale and sell. But if my children want to take them over, that'd be awesome. But there's no pressure on them,
right?
If they don't want to do that.
Yeah,
I can always just be that mentor. What would it be like? Chief executive mentor, and have a team and just keep creating.
Yeah, that's who we are. We're creators. If anybody is an entrepreneur, they're just a creator and a builder.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Superpower for 24 hours, only one day. You can have anything. What would it be?
One day?
One day, that's all you get.
And it's something I want to have?
It's a superpower for one day.
Oh, my superpower. Oh, gosh. I'm pretty nosy. I'd like to be invisible. I'm super curious. I want to go in every house I see and see what people are up to. And also, I think it'd be fun to just trespass and nobody know.
I'll deal with my transgressions when I get to heaven. Am I right?
I mean, trespassing's against the law, but it sure would be fun. If nobody knows, you're not going to get shot. Now, in the hollers of East Tennessee, you might get shot, but if you're invisible, you're safe.
You're invisible. Nobody can see you. You can hear everything. You're invisible. You can see everything. I mean, how cool.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really curious about people and just the human condition and quite entertained by it. And so if I were invisible, I could go just watch people, how they interact, the decisions they make, everything. I love to ask people, explain your daily routine from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. I want to know everything. And it just freaks them out. It's interesting to me.
So I had a girl, she's a doctor who actually comes in, and that's what she does with you for like 3 to 5 days. She literally comes into your home and sees what time you wake up, what time you do everything, and what time you go to bed to transform your health. Is that cool?
It makes it, oh my gosh, it's genius.
So yeah.
Love it.
All right. This one's going to be hard for you. One of your favorite books.
It's this one right here. This is The Book Thief. So all the books on the shelf are books I've worked on or written. Like my books are up there, and then a lot of my clients' books. But I use the Book Thief a lot. Now I'm from the deep South, Georgia originally, so I have to say Gone with the Wind is number one. But this one I use a lot as an example because it's got so many layers and so many just great lines and stuff like that. But the author took a lot of chances, and the narrator, spoiler alert, is death. So it's really sarcastic, but like he does a lot of funky formatting stuff in here and isn't afraid to change up. I mean, he talks directly to the reader too, the narrator. And I love that because I think authors who speak directly to the reader engage them so well. And it's just a profound experience for the reader. And that's why I love The Book Thief. It's not so much the story, which is a great story. It's more about how the author writes and how the narrator relates to the reader. And then all the fun.
It's a relationship building.
Yeah, because you want people to have the book hangover. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, you want them to read it and be like, ugh, you know, be taking a walk a week later and be like, ugh, what is Liesl? Wonder what Liesl's doing. Oh, she doesn't even exist. Never mind.
It's like a soap opera. People are like in the soap opera inside the book. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, you want people to. It's really, you know, characters are what make books. Like if you don't like the Twilight books are very successful, but I don't like Bella. So I didn't like the books. I'm like, she's boring. So this one's not boring. Liesl, she's got a lot going on. Poor thing can't read. She's hiding a Jewish man in her basement. She steals books from the mayor. And she's got a lot going on. She's got her best friend, Rudy. And yeah, it's just a great story. And you really pull for these characters. It's hard to write a great character, but if you watch people, if you're invisible and you can trespass, you could write right. This is what I need.
Do it.
Yeah, this is what I need.
Well, all right. What is a good go-to song for you to get you moving and grooving?
Oh, I like the song. I don't know any song titles, but the one that's like, say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one for me.
That's perfect for you as a writer. Let the words, you know.
Yeah, let the words fall out, and then you can fix them. That's the trick, is let them fall out. Did you know this is kind of, you know, a lot of your readers are probably thinking, man, I've got a book in me.
They do. And
they're probably right. And if they're entrepreneurs, they should write books because they're incredible marketing tools. But of all the people who have books in their heads, only 3% or so ever write them. They just don't. They don't have the guts, or they don't think they have the time, and they should do it because it's an incredibly rewarding process that can actually propel their businesses. But it can make you happy. Like writing makes you happier.
Well, they all need to get in touch with you. We know that, but give me a quote first before we tell them how to get in touch with you, because they all need you.
A quote, like my favorite quote?
Yeah.
Okay, it's C.S. Lewis, the great Christian apologetic, and he said or wrote, "You can make anything by writing."
It just goes along with your whole theme. I love it. Your whole brand. It's right there.
Yeah.
All right. Now, all right, this is the most important thing, because you know what? These are all entrepreneurs. They have a book in them. Every single one of them have a book in them, and they should be calling you. So the question is how do they get in touch with you? How do they stay connected with you?
You know what? I'm kind of old school, and this shocks people. And I even have this in my instant messaging and in social media, is you can call me on the phone. It's something we used to do in the 80s. So my phone number is 1-865-414-4017. People can also email me at Dyer, it's DYER CB, as in Crippled Beagle Publishing, at gmail.com. Story Mountain Media is so new and took off so quickly that I don't have a website yet. We're building that. So just email me, or you can go to crippledbeaglepublishing.com and see our catalog and some different things that we do for people. But folks they're welcome to just book a call there on my website. It's at the top, like book a curiosity call, or they can just call me on the phone, old school.
I love it. So is there anything else that you'd like to share with the female entrepreneurs who are listening today?
I think we just all need to support each other and encourage each other to take risks, have fun, let our businesses serve our lives and our goals, and just keep creating.
You know what, Jodi? Oh my God. I love having you on.
You're a blast.
So much fun. Oh, you are a blast.
I love talking about myself. So we should do this once a week.
We can do that. No problem. All right. Thank you for being on.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. I hope you found inspiration, actionable tips, and a sense of connection with our incredible community of driven women. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share the episode with fellow entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate their game. Remember, your success is just the beginning, and we're here to support you in every step of the way. Until next time, keep shining, keep thriving, and remember, you have the power to create the business and life of your dreams. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.